Hello everyone, welcome to class 1 of the Duplicity handbag by Sew Yours. Super excited to do this one. Again, I will be in this class making a customer order, so that is fantastic. So all of the color choices, all of the hardware, everything have been chosen by my client, so I'm going to make her vision come true. So what will I be using in this bag? Actually, before we get that far, this class is pre-recorded for July 2023, so in July and December of every month, I will be pre-recording classes so I can work part-time those months for a little bit of a break. I don't really get a holiday. I just always work all the time, and just to get those breaks, to have those evenings off and those Thursday nights off in July so I can sneak away camping with my husband if need be, then that enables me to be able to do that. So this is pre-recorded. Now, I do have a cutting video which will be pretty much the same content as this. The difference is they're two separate videos, so anything that is in the comments will only be visible to viewers for this video, and this one is going to have more in-depth content. So let me turn that volume off. So, of course, this is longer. Now, the cutting tutorial that I am going to launch to the public side, that tutorial will not go to the public side until these classes are done and over. I already have a Meet the Bags video and a tutorial that I did on this bag when the pattern first came out a year and a half or so ago. I don't know exactly when that is. So make sure you check out that tutorial as well so you can get an idea of what we're doing. This bag is a drop-in lining. We actually have two sections, which is a drop-in lining. Do not be scared of that. This is an easy drop-in lining. Now, on a flatbed, you may be sewing them together from the inside of the bag, which is okay. You just make sure your bobbin thread is nice and your stitches are all even. Do not be scared of that. This bag actually comes together quite quickly. I really enjoy making this one. It looks like it's such a complicated bag, but it really is not. So do not be scared of it. Stabilizers I will be using in this. Again, I will not cut stabilizers with you in the class. You will take the corresponding stabilizer pattern pieces and cut those pieces to your chosen stabilizer, because there's many options you can use for stabilizing this bag, and based on what your machine can handle or what have you, or what is available in your country. I will tell you all my cotton pieces, because I am going to be doing a quilting cotton lining, will be backed with EBFuse Lite from Emmeline Bags, which is similar to an SF101 or any kind of medium woven interfacing. So if you're doing that, you'll want to do that. If you're using a waterproof canvas, of course, you do not have to interface that. You can do your exterior in cottons, canvases, vinyls, anything you like. I am going to be doing mine in a vinyl, and my main stabilizer, she does not recommend foam for this, and I absolutely understand why, because we're definitely going to want to keep the thickness down for when we go to do the drop-in lining. And you guys kind of understand what a drop-in lining looks like if you took part in the Maple classes a couple months ago. We're going to be doing it very similar, but definitely, especially if you are on a domestic machine, don't want to have that thickness, because it'll be a headache. So you will definitely want to use the corresponding pattern pieces that are included in the pattern, like this one here. This is the exterior stabilizer piece. So you adjust just like we're going to do with all the other ones, cut them out as per this. So for my exterior stabilizer, I am going to use EBFuse Heavy, which again is from Emmeline Bags, and it's similar to a Decovil Lite. Decovil Lite type interfacing is what is recommended for the exterior of the bag for this. Now, if you're doing a cotton exterior, make sure you use the medium woven interfacing, like the EBFuse Lite or the SF101 for your whole outside piece if you're using a cotton, and then do this stabilizer piece outside of the seam allowances as well, so you make sure you have enough structure to your bag. So she says you can use Decovil Lite. Again, I'm going to use EBFuse Heavy, which is Emmeline Bags version. You could use fusible fleece. It is not recommended to use foam, and I understand that. I'm a foam girl, and I will not be using foam in this bag. My bottom stabilizer, I will be using Decovil Heavy. Of course, you can use a Peltex or 2 layers of Decovil Lite or 2 layers of EBFuse Heavy if you do not have the heavy stabilizer. Yes, I think that is it for stabilizers. let me show you what I'll be making this bag out of. So I have a bunch of scraps that I'm going to try to use up while we're cutting this in my Galaxy Customs Loon Black. And then I have a new roll of it right here, which I will be using as well, because this is definitely not going to be enough. But you know me, I like to use up as much scrap as I can. Now my client, she wanted a hot pink lining with black flowers, and I came across this one in my stash. Now I have maybe a half a meter of it. Whoopsies, half a meter of it. I can't tell you what it is because I've cut it out before and I cut the selvage off that had the name on it. So I don't have any names on the selvage. I bought this years ago and I'm 99% sure I probably got it from Fabricland. So I'm going to use up this scrap. I have just enough of this, I hope, fingers crossed, to do the lining bottom panels for this pattern, but that doesn't leave me enough for the zipper pocket. So I'm going to just use a plain black quilting cotton for my zipper pocket linings, and probably for my slip pockets or whatever I decide to do on the inside of the bag. So I'm going to supplement this with this, so I will have enough lining fabric. I'm going to be using matte black hardware from Emmeline bags. I am going to be using the figure 8 rings. If they're only 1 inch, yeah, they are. These are from Serial Bag Makers that I got from a Serial Bag Makers order a long time ago. So oopsies. Emmeline Bags does not sell these. Again, I got them from Serial Bag Makers. Every now and again, I will order. They're in Belgium, so every now and then I will order from them some stabilizer or what have you. Especially when I was using Decovil Lite, that's where I would get my Decovil Lite from. So these are from Serial Bag Makers. All the other matte black hardware I will be using in this class is from Emmeline Bags. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay, so let me get this all cleared up and then we'll go camera down and we will start with cutting the exterior of the bag. Oh, before we go any further, please do comment that you are here no matter when you're watching this video, so I know that you did attend the class. And also please do let me know if you are planning on making this bag, so when it comes to December, when I'm trying to collect photos for all of the past class bags, when I do the year-end classes in review video, I know who I'm coming to look for. All right. Okay. I don't think I forgot anything. So yes, make sure you do say here down in the comments, and let me get this kind of cleared up, and then we will come down. Now, again, I just keep talking and talking. So you will notice that I will stop the camera and start it again throughout the class, mainly because, as you know, when you take my classes live, I'm always fiddling with changing the cameras. I figured because I'm pre-recording this, you guys don't need to see the screen go black and come back, so I just kind of stop filming. I switch my camera so you get a nice and seamless view. So that's a little bit different than when the classes are live. I hope that is okay, but otherwise it's exactly the same as the classes. If you have any questions, I will be checking the comments. You can reach out to me via email. That is down below on Facebook Messenger in the group. And yeah, reach out to your peers as well. I am still here to help you 100% throughout the month of July. I'm just taking a break from doing the classes live in the evening. So I have filmed these classes in June. My June has been crammed packed full because I added in these two classes to pre-film, but really it just gives me a little bit of a break or a holiday to be able to work just part-time for July. So I appreciate all of you for sticking around, even though this isn't live, but I am here for you 100% throughout the month. Okay, now for sure, I'm going to get this cleared up. Grab your vinyl, and then we will start cutting out the exterior of this bag. All right, so let's get started. So as we're going through the measurement cuts, I will not be sharing what those measurements are. So just make sure you follow along in your cutting guide so you can have those measurements. So I will just say what I'm cutting. You will see my ruler, but I will be trying to cover up the numbers the best I can, mainly because you have to own the pattern to know what those measurements are. So we are going to be going off of page 6. As most of you know, if you follow along with my other cutting videos, I like to use the cutting guide in a pattern, and then I like to use my air erasing sew line pen to mark things off as I go, because by the time, like for an example, you can see this isn't marked up at all. That's because I used my sew line pen the last time I made this bag, crossed things off, and then by the next time you go to sew with or to sew another one, they have disappeared on their own. So it's minimal work. saves paper, so you don't have to keep printing, and you don't have to go through and erase it if you're using a pencil. So I'm gonna we're gonna start with the first column with the exterior fabric, and I am actually gonna kind of jump around a little bit because I want to use up some of these scraps here. So I'm going to pick and choose what we're cutting out there for these smaller scraps, and then I'll pull out my full roll when we get to the bigger things. So where is my pen? There it is. So what I like to do is I like to draw my pattern pieces on the backs of my vinyl before cutting, and the reason for that is to have minimal scraps. So say you had a roll of vinyl and it didn't quite, like the way you cut it out, you didn't quite have enough vinyl for the whole bag, but if you had positioned things differently, you probably would have. So this is, you can draw it on, you can kind of plan it out, and if you need to redraw some to make it so you have less waste, you can do that. So my client actually wants her straps to be 30 inches, so I have to cut them to 32 inches because I will be folding under an inch on each side. Now, I don't believe I have any pieces that are big enough for that, for doing that, so we will be doing the straps when I pull out my full roll. So I'm going to go ahead and move down to the strap connectors, and I'm just going to find my scrap piece. I think I can get them out of this one, which will be great. And you're going to go ahead and draw out your 2 strap connectors, or sorry, 4 strap connectors. So follow along with the measurement notes as to what those are, and just draw them on the back. So go ahead and do that while I do mine. Okay. So just draw them on. Oopsies. So this is 2 of them. So I drew them at double width. Now go ahead, and once you got them drawn, so this is 2, I'm also going to go ahead and do a center line, and that is for when we make the straps, for when we're folding it in and we don't have to go ahead and draw it later. So that's 2 of them, and I'm going to just have to kind of move it up a little here. Again, a little bit easier when you're not using scraps, but I am using scraps. So well, my air conditioner just clicked on. That means it's going to be a hot one. Okay, there's my last 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and my center lines. And I just like to write con, so I know those are my strap connectors. And then I can go ahead and I can cross that off my list. Okay, so next we want to cut 4 zipper panels, which I think I'm going to be able to get out of this piece as well. I definitely am. Actually, maybe I can even go this way. No, I'm going to go this way. So go ahead and draw out 4 zipper panels as per the measurements in the pattern. Now you may choose, oh, never mind, ignore what I just said. So these are for the exterior, so you're going to cut 4. So I'm drawing out 2 at a time here, just because that's easy math for me to do in my head. And because I'm going to have to adjust, I just know that that is what is going to fit in this scrap piece that I'm doing. I am definitely a scrap buster, that's for sure. So I can cut this in half. Now these are super, super skinny zipper panels, so you will notice that. So there's 2 of my zip panels, and I need 2 more exterior zip panels. I'm gonna have to, but yes, they are super skinny, so you're not doing it wrong. That is what they are. All right, yep. But look at this, I'm using up all of my scrap. This is perfect. No waste. Okay. Oopsies, not quite. There we go. Zip and zip, just so I know what they are. And you can go across and go down the exterior and cross off those 4. Exterior slip pockets. So the exterior slip pockets, I am not going to be able to get out of my scrap pieces, so I will be doing that on my full roll. So we're going to skip over that. I'm going to go down to my slip pocket trim. So this is for the inside of the bag, I think. Now you can decide, this is for the exterior of the bag. You can decide, because there are 2 compartments of this bag, and we're going to be doing them exactly the same. So in both of mine, I'm going to have a slip pocket and I am going to have a zipper pocket. Now you may choose to only have one of each, or a zipper pocket in one of the compartments and a slip pocket in the other, or doubling it up. I'm going to have one of each, so I'm going to go ahead and draw out my, actually, let's see if one of these is long enough, slip pocket pieces. Again, I'm looking at my scraps to see, you know what, I will save that for something else. So my slip pocket pieces, I cut a little bit different. I'm going to cut mine, and I'll give you these measurements because they are my measurements. So I do have a tutorial on how I do my slip pockets. So you can go back in classes and see that, or you can look in my Bagmakers 101 playlist, and I have it in there. So I'm going to cut these, I'm going to cut 2 of them at about 9-ish inches by 1.5 inches. So there's one, and I also like to draw a center line down the middle. Again, the slip pockets during the classes, if you're watching this for classes, we do not do them in class. I let you guys do your lining pockets the way you like to do them, and then you just go ahead and watch the tutorials for that. So I need another one just like that. Again, however you like to do them, you can follow the pattern as well, but these are the measurements I like to do my slip pocket accent kind of binding strips in a way, but it's not binding. So 9 inches by 1.5 inches ish, and again I'm doing 2 in this bag, but you can customize it however you like. So I'm going to write slip and slip. Look at using up that scrap, that's awesome. So slip pocket trim, I'm going to cross that off because it's done. My exterior pieces I'll do in my big roll. Exterior bands. So now we're working into our pattern pieces. So we need 2 of these exterior bands, and again I'm going to utilize my scraps here. So I'm going to draw one out here, and then I will find another home for the other one because this just fits super perfect here. So draw out one. So this is the pattern piece B, exterior band, and we want to do 2 of these. So just trace out your pattern piece. I'm going to label it B, exterior band. And then I'm going to find another piece where I can draw the second one. And right here works just fine for me. Now make sure if you're using a directional print that you have this pointing the right way. I'm not using one, so I can do it any way I like. the exterior band. And I can cross that off of my list. Exterior band 2, done. And again, if you're doing cottons in this, remember you will be backing them with your woven interfacings. What next? Okay. Lining top outer, lining top inner. Let me just double check something because it has been a while since I made these. I think I have my head lining top inner. Inner. Okay, so I am going to be doing those all in this vinyl. So I am going to actually cut out these pieces right now, just because I'm pretty much done this piece. Now this one here, I'm actually going to be cutting out 2 zipper pocket overlays as well, and she does have a paper template for one. This is actually a Sew Yours template for cutting them out, so I will be using this and just using this to cut all the way around with this piece and this piece. I'm not going to do that on camera because not everybody has these overlays, but just trace out your pattern piece and do that. So I'm going to set these 2 pieces aside, and I will be cutting those out off camera, as well as I will be edge painting all the way around the raw edges of those. So I'm going to set that aside for now. So that's the very last thing on the exterior fabric cutting column, is the 2 zipper overlays, but I'm just going to use my acrylic template to do that, and you guys can do it with the paper template or whatever shape that you like it to be on your own. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and I will cut that later. Okay, let's cut out these pieces and get this scrap piece out of the way, because I have used out as much as I can. Now, if you are doing this on a brand new roll, just hold on, and then we can keep drawing here momentarily. I just want to clear this away, or you can cut out your pieces like I am as well. Goes this way. I'm a rotary cutter girl, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to put these aside with these pieces here. And throw that aside. The most time consuming in cutting this bag out is the exterior. That's where the most pieces are. The linings go really fast. It's the exteriors that are more involved. Two connectors. Four connectors, we can set those aside. I love the nice straight edges. So easy to cut. Now my slip pocket pieces, I am also going to edge paint the 2 long sides. Again, that's optional. I like to edge paint and I like to have that nice finished look, but you definitely don't have to. It's not going to fray or anything. I just like having a nice colored edge to my raw edges. 2 slip pocket pieces, and my zipper pockets, or zipper whatchamacallits. Now I am going to, why did I do a dotted line right there? I didn't have to do a dotted line. Well, I'll be cutting along there. These zipper panels we're going to put aside. We're going to actually use these pieces when we go to cut out our lining. So then you don't have to bring the ruler out. You can just use these as your template and cut straight from one of them, like a pattern piece. So I'm going to put these into the more to be cut pile. So remember to cut them out. I'll put them over to this side. Okay. So yeah, that's all I have left of this one. So I killed that pretty good, which was good. Now let's go back in and see what else I can get out of this piece. Oh, look it, I can get my exterior bottom piece, which is awesome. So I think I will draw that one out here. It has a slightly curved bottom. Don't be scared of that. It's so very, very slight on these corners. So that's a C bottom. So I can cross that off my list. So the bottom, and of course you will do your bottom stabilizer. You will fuse it outside of the seam allowances using that pattern piece. What else can I fit on this piece? Do you know what? I think that is all I'm going to, yeah. I put the rest of these scraps with my next project, and I can use them for my slip pockets or my zipper pockets or what have you. I think I've used these scraps to the best that they can be used. But I'm not going to throw away this little bit. I will use it. Vinyl's expensive. You want to make sure that you save stuff so you can use it later. You would not believe my scrap cubbies. They're unbelievable. Okay, so yes, the bottom piece, you'll have to remember to put your stabilizer on it. Okay, set that aside for now. I'll put these in my scrap bin. And now we'll go back to the top of our list. So I think I can oops, what did I just knock down? I think that was a ruler. It was. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out my straps first. Now my client, the pattern calls for 29-inch length straps. You can make the straps any length you want. You can make them handbag straps if you wanted to, which is about 16-ish inches. You can make them shoulder bag, which is about 27 to 29 inches. My client likes hers, and I make them for her all the time. She likes them to be 30 inches to go over her shoulder. So I cut mine to 32 inches because I do fold them under that 1 inch to rivet them on. So I want to make sure that the entirety of the strap is 30 inches after it's been folded over. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. So this is only a 24-inch ruler. So I'm doing 4 inches. And I'm just going to do a little mark like so, because I'm going to have to add 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30 through 130. I'm going to have to add 8 more inches here. So then I just move my ruler over, put my 8-inch mark on those little notches that I did where my ruler ended. And that'll equal 32. And then of course I do a 2-inch dotted line in the middle for when I go to make the straps. That work is already done for me, seeing as I have the ruler and the pen out already. It just makes sense to do it. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing for my second strap. It's nice and straight. Draw that center line. Strap. Strap. Okay, and cross that out. Exterior slip pockets. So this bag has so many pockets. So it's got the 2 compartments that are zipper pockets. And then it's got, I can't remember if there's one in between. I can't remember. I should really watch my tutorial. I will do that. And then on my inside, I'm going to have slip pockets and zipper pockets on each of those. But then on the back sides of these, there are also slip pockets with the magnetic closure. So pockets galore. So we are now to 1, 2, 3, 4 down on the exterior fabric. And you'll see the measurements there for doing your 2 exterior slip pockets. Again, I'm not going to share those measurements. You'll just have to go ahead. I'm going to actually grab, no, I can use this ruler. So draw out 2 of them as per the pattern measurements, which I will do now. Okay. So again, it's a little bit longer than what my ruler is. So I'm just going to do similar to like what I did with the straps. Okay. Okay, so that is 1 pocket. Make sure I got it right. Yeah. So this is 1 exterior slip. And you'll see below this, it'll have a stabilizer measurement cut for these pockets as well. So you will want to follow that to cut stabilizer there. Here's my second one. A little easier to draw because I can use the other one as a guide. Oops, did I do that wrong? Okay, exterior slip. So we got those 2 done. We can cross that off of our exterior list. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw these ones. Just trying to use up, I don't know if this is going to fit in here. Oh, do you know what? It might. Okay. So now we're going to do our lining E tops. Now it says inner. These are the ones where I'm going to have, this is going to be vinyl, and then there will be a zipper here, and then my bottom part is going to be my lining fabric. And that is just so above the zippers we have just straight across vinyl. You can do whatever you like here. So it says to cut 2 lining, but I'm actually using my exterior fabric for these pieces. So I am going to cut 2 of these, or draw out 2 of these. Oops. Again, if you're using directional fabric, make sure it's pointing the right way. Oopsies, I'm not very straight here, am I? There's one, and I'm just going to flip it because I want to have a nice straight edge there to work with later. For drawing anything else out. Okay. Oops. That's E, lining, top, inner, lining, top, inner. Okay. Okay, and now let's cross that off of our list. Lining, top, inners, where are we? Lining, top, inner, 2. Now, when we get to the zipper tab section, I am not cutting those because I'm going to use metal zipper tabs. So if you're using zipper tabs, vinyl zipper tabs, go ahead and cut those out. Now I'm going to move to my exterior piece. So, lay this down so I have the least amount erased possible. Okay. And we'll have to draw out 2 of these, a little bit more. There's a lot of pieces to cut out, but this bag goes together magically. It is amazing. So one thing, Melissa is a very, very, very talented pattern designer. I must give her that. And she's a good friend too. So this is the main section of your bag. Okay, so that's one. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other one right above it. I'll move it over here. I think the one I did in the tutorial, I did in Galaxy Custom Pearl Vinyls, and it was so pretty. I did it in like the Lagoon Teal, I believe it was. So a exterior, a exterior. Okay, so we can cross that off of our list. We're almost done with this. I've done my overlays, well, I'll do them later. So now we just have two of our lining top outers. Where's that pattern piece? There it is. I'm kind of hoping, I'm gonna lay it right here. And then I'll just have this little piece of scrap, which is good. So here's one. Oopsies. Oopsies. Okay, and I'll cut a second one just above it. I think I made good use of my vinyl. I got some good leftovers of working vinyl for the next project, which was my goal. So I think I've mapped these pieces out pretty good. Sorry if you're seeing the top of my head. Probably seeing my roots. Okay, so this is D, lining, outer, lining, outer. You know what she does for lining top, lining inner's all in the exterior fabric too, so that worked good. So that is done. So I can see I've done everything. I still have to cut out my zipper overlays, but I will do that off camera. But I've done all of that exterior. So now we can go ahead and cut the rest of these out. And a little kilter there, but it'll be fine. So one exterior. So again, when you go to interface this, you would cut the interfacing and you would fuse it on outside of the seam allowances. So that'll be homework to do before moving on to the next parts. There. Oh my gosh. Dexter scared me. He's underneath my desk. So there is no crossbody strap for this one. Okay, there's my 2 straps. So I just like holding my pattern pieces together with these alligator clip hair clips. You can hear I need to change my rotary cutter. It kind of makes this clicking sound. I think I need a new rotary cutter. This one is so incredibly old. Well loved. Okay, there's my 2 exterior slip pockets. Those will need interfacing as well. Just cut these away here. And I've got this big piece to use, which will be long enough for a crossbody strap too for another project. So that'll go in my scrap bin. Lining D pieces. Almost there. Minimal scrap. Yay! Okay, so now I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to cut out those zipper overlays, and then I'll get this cleaned up, and we'll come back and we will do the lining pieces. Okay, so now we are moving on to the lining piece. This is where I'm a little nervous because I'm really hoping I have enough of this. So we're on column 2 of the cutting guide, and I am going to actually start first because it's very important that this is our main panel. So we're going to need 4 lining bottom panels, and that's what I'm hoping I'm going to get out of here. Now the way our lining bottom panels are, you will see they are a box bottom. So luckily, we do not need to, I have more than enough. We do not need to cut a bottom piece for this. So my fabric really isn't that directional. So I'm going to cut 2 of these at a time. I'm going to fold it up on itself. Actually, I think I can cut 4 at a time. Yeah, I have more than enough fabric. Sweet. I'm going to move this up a little bit more. So linings, I find I cut so fast because you can fold the fabrics and you can make multiple layers. So you can cut more than 1 at a time. So this is 2 layers, so that'll be 2. And right about there, if I fold this again in half here, you'll see we've got 2 folds. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be cutting all 4 at the exact same time. So take my pattern piece, lay it down. I'm using pattern weights to hold this for me. And if you see this, you'll see why I didn't go into pottery. This was a yarn bowl I did in a pottery class once upon a time. Oh my gosh, it's terrible, but it's super cute. It's supposed to be a sheep. I don't know if you guys can see the sheep there. All right, so I'm going to just go in and I'm going to cut through all 4 layers. Again, if this is directional, You might not want to do it this way because you may have some upside down pieces. This is where you can see I should have changed my rotary cutter blade. This is my third project on this rotary cutter blade. I try to only do 2, but I forgot to change it. So I think I say that every single cutting video. It still works. So again, I will back these with EBFuse Lite, which is like an SF101. So medium woven and interfacing. But look how fast that is to cut out all 4 at the same time, even with the dull rotary blade. Really dull rotary blade. Oh my gosh, Brandy. Okay, so if I did the math right and I folded it properly, we should have 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these will go in the to be interfaced bucket. And those are all cut out. Yay! And this will be something else out of my scrap bin. Yay! It's only been in there for many, many years. So lining bottoms 4, done. And I will do the interfacing separate, of course. Next important thing to be done is these zipper panels. So that's where I kept my zipper panels out. We want to cut 4 of these in the lining. So let's see here. I think I can use some of these pieces here. Again, trying to use the most of the fabric as I can. How about here? Oh. Nope, not quite. Along here. Okay, so I can cut 1 here. And again, I'm just using my one I cut out of the vinyl as my template now. And again, I'm just trying to use as much of this fabric as I can. So if you weren't using scraps like me, you could definitely make 4 layers of fabric again and cut all 4 at the same time. But I'm hopeful I'll have enough for the majority of my pockets linings, so I'm being conservative. So there's 1. I think I can get another one along this skinny piece. Oh yeah, I can. I find it very satisfying, if you can't tell, when I can use up as almost every single square inch of fabric. It makes me so happy. There's 2. Where else do I have? Right here? Yeah. Yep. You guys must think I'm nuts. So these will need to be interfaced as well. You could also be using your ruler as your template if you wanted to. Just follow the measurements. Easier for me to use this because I can't share the measurements with you. That's 3. Where else can I get a nice long skinny piece? Right here. And 4. And I'm probably going to have enough for my exterior slip pockets, which was my goal. And then I'll do everything else in the black fabric. Okay, and of course these, again, I said it already, I believe, that you will interface these unless you're using like a waterproof canvas. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And back with these ones, and the cotton pieces will be interfaced. All right, so let's cross off. We're almost there. Zipper panels, we've done those. Okay, So I'm going to grab, just bear with me while I go and grab my slip pocket pieces. I'm hoping I have enough to get the linings for my 2 exterior slip pockets, which I'm sure I can out of this, because you can see, look how well we've done. Once again, oh, I got sticky tape there. Let's wipe that off. I'm just going to lay it down. Oh yeah, I got more than enough. And then the rest of this I'll probably, unless I got enough for my pockets, we will see. So here's one, and I'm just using my pattern, my exterior slip pocket piece as my template. Look at the mess I'm making, hey? That's one. Get my second one right here. Sweet. I'm very happy that I was able to use scraps. Very, very happy. So as you can see, for the number of pieces, the majority of the action will be happening on the exterior of the bag. The linings are pretty simple. So those pieces will be interfaced as well. Put those aside. So that is 2 exterior slip pockets. So now all we have are our, yeah, I think I'm going to check the rest of this. There's not very much left. And for our slip pockets, I'm going to do them in black. The black slip pocket will actually accent the black in this pretty nicely. And this is all I have for waste. Just little itty bitty pieces. So I'm just going to chuck this. One less thing in my pile, and then I'm going to grab my black fabric and we will cut out the rest. So aligning zipper pockets. These I can give measurements on because they're just standard measurements for lining zipper and slip pockets. So again, I am going to be doing 2 lining zipper pockets and 2 lining slip pockets. You can decide how many you want to do. So, which side do I want to do this on? Do it on this side. As you can see, I cut into this all the time. I always have black just for this exact reason. Okay, so for my 2 zipper pockets, I'm going to do this on the fold. So this is for my zipper pocket lining pieces. Got this on the fold. I want it to be at least 6-ish inches high from the fold down. Mine's a little bit bigger. And we want to cut them to about, I always do mine to 6 by 10 inches. I do 2 of them like that. So I got my selvage here, so I got it over a little bit. And I have it just up a little bit because I am going to be cutting along there as well to make this into 2 pieces. So do 4 pieces that are approximately 10 by 6 inches. And I'm going to just cut the selvage off. So they're slightly different than the measurements in the pattern. They're just my preference. I always do mine just that little bit longer. And do the same on this side, 10 by 6-ish inches. So this will be for my 2 zipper pockets, lining zipper pockets. And I should have 4 of them now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these will be interfaced as well with a woven interfacing. And then I am also going to do 2 aligning slip pockets. And we want them to be, we're going to do them on the fold because we want them to be 12 inches high. Sometimes you can take your phone and kind of guesstimate if that's going to be enough. And it usually is, because you like your phone just to stick out just a little bit. That's what you do in here. So I'm going to cut off this excess here. We have it on the fold. So I got my 6-inch ruler here. So on the fold, I just put it along there, and I'm not going to cut that fold because then this is going to make it a 12-inch piece, which is what we want. And we want it to be 9 inches by 12 inches. And I'm going to cut 2 of these because I'm doing 2 slip pockets. So 9 inches by 12 inches, so it looks something like this because we will be folding it up in half. And one more the same way. And then you'll interface those. Go through the list. That's done. So all we have left to do now is cut out the woven interfacings and the stabilizers. All right, so that is class 1 complete. A little more cutting to do, but so worth it. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff on the exterior of the bag, as you can see, which we will get started on in next class. The linings come together pretty fast. I do believe this will be a 4-class class. Yes, because there will be homework each class, I am pretty sure. Homework for class this time is to do your interfacing, so your woven interfacings, your medium woven interfacings, as well as your main stabilizers. Get those all put on. If you are going to be edge coating any of your raw edges for your lining, slip pockets or zipper pockets, go ahead and do that, as well as homework is also to make your handles. They just go together like any other handle that we have done. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me, you can shoot me a message on Facebook, you can put it in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this class. Thank you again for joining me, even though this isn't a live class, and thank you so much for supporting me so I can have a little bit of a break. Anyways, until next week, we will be starting on the exterior of the bag next week, and I hope you guys have a fantabulous weekend. Love you guys. Bye.